That's why you're blocked. Blocked.
That's why you're blocked. You're listening to That's Why You're Blocked podcast.
And we're live. Hey, welcome back. So, about this dating series. We're going to put a pause on it to get more content.
Okay, but in the same token, we also are going to have to take a break from dating because
We need to lose weight.
We
I can't keep going out to eat.
We got to get right in tights for our May vacation.
Yeah, so with that being said, you know, if you're a trainer, I don't know, I was saying something wild, but I'd be joking a lot. I'd be like, stretch me out.
She really do be joking because a nigga will offer to stretch her out in multiple different ways and she'll send a gif to him.
I mean, yeah.
In the most cartoon gif ever. I'm just like, why do these niggas take you seriously?
Because they want to hit home base. I don't know. I don't know why people do. All right, but we're getting off topic. For those people that are listening and this new, I'm Carson Bailey.
I'm Chanel Schatz.
And this is That's Why You're podcast. So let's get into it. What's the shit that be coming through your phone?
So we have been in a pretty, I would say like a good month of a dating round. What do you say? About a month?
When you start speaking French, we a good.
It
month
has
of
been we. She be playing, y'all. It has been it has been we. Yo, I don't understand. Okay, so
I feel like
my co-host here will go on multiple dates, but because
they don't really be dates.
But because they don't go anywhere, she'll be
so
like,
that's not a date. That's exactly what that means.
No, but I'm not talking about physically. I'm like whatever situation with that person because it doesn't go anywhere. Like they don't really talk afterwards. Like whatever the case may be, she doesn't consider it a date. I'm like, it still was a date. I think you're going a lot more than you think.
All right, from now on, this week moving forward, I'm gonna count it, put an actual count on it. So
we'll just wait till after Memorial Day because we put a pause. But during the summer, we really will count.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, it's the shit that come through your phone.
So we are going to talk about how we get asked out on dates. So typically, someone will be like, "Hey, what are you doing on this day? I would like to take you out." Or something along those lines. However, I find it really attractive when someone either gives me a few options, like I tell them like around the place where I want to go, or they offer around the place. They give me a few options, and then we both like can pick from there, or just tell me where we're going to eat.
I do.
Or tell me where we're going. Like that. Something about that is like really
refreshing.
Attractive.
I agree. Knowing what we're doing,
right?
Like, tell me, take out the guessing work. I do feel like sometimes. Like, guys, at least in my experience, I don't know, maybe you just get different niggas. I feel like sometimes it's like pulling teeth to go, like if you don't want to link, just let me know. Like, I ain't trying to beg. Like, certain people's like, all right, and I know people's schedules are busy, and I know for me, sometimes I get in, especially this past week or so, was not definitely in a good mood, so I wasn't really engaging a lot.
Right.
I get people who can go through that, but still, it's like, all right, when are we going out? Like, what's up?
I think I'm just going to stop, like, responding to niggas who don't, within, like, a good week or so, talk about going out. And not only just talk about it, but actually say, hey, when are you actually free? What are we doing? What's going on?
No, I didn't. All right. That was an awkward pause. Pregnancy pause.
It was. Weird. I lost my train of thought, and I was trying to collect it.
I was like, I didn't know. I was like, I don't know what to do.
No, okay. Well, I feel like when men actually do want to go out with women, like they'll say it, they really don't need a whole bunch of extra time to figure it out. Like, if you want to hang out with someone or not. If you want to link with someone or not. However, I do suggest, ladies, men, everyone, you should have a conversation with someone before, like a phone conversation or a FaceTime conversation. That's going to tell you whether the date is going to be good or not.
I mean, I don't know. I live life on the edge. Gamble it. I mean, you should, get to know that person, but like you can still put on a persona at FaceTime. I feel like
you can, but I think I just like to see people in different elements.
But you be talking to Android niggas.
You say that like it's plural. Talk to maybe like one or two, but nothing serious, nothing a lot. I actually downloaded Google Duo.
I
I obviously was like this person. Yeah.
don't even go in there.
uh,
She and her feelings. All right. Well,
all right. So, what are we doing today, Carson? What are we talking about?
I had something to say and I just
sorry.
lost it. It's okay.
So, why don't we preference
I was
this
saying-
by saying yesterday we drank all day, just a little out of it, just a
Oh
little.
yeah, we're a
off.
little dehydrated. Been trying to check some water. But what I was gonna say, the stuff that came through my phone was this one person. I mean, I want to quote them correctly. So, like, all right, it's somebody I messed with in the past, right? And I was like,
I think we've mentioned him before, or we mentioned that
Oh,
particular line before that he
yeah,
said.
he was like, "You depressed? I have anxiety. We would make suicidal babies." Well, he didn't say that. He didn't say that specifically, but he's like, "We'd be perfect together because you have a mental health issue, and I have a mental health issue." But he hit me up, and okay, well, I think I'll go back. I think I might have. No, see, right before last weekend when I said I was stop drinking and eating bread and all that stuff, what happened was my friend had come in town, and we have to go up for that. So, like, I drank again, and so I think at that point, he had messaged me on Instagram, and I was like a little toasted from chilling. I was like, I might,
Probably feeling good. Might give him a little chance.
I might text him back, but like, he was taking too long. I'm like, I'm in my car. If I go in the house,
I'm not coming back out.
yeah. And so he didn't respond in the time. Like, I'm like, you taking too long.
You missed your window of opportunity.
He did. And so he's basically been hitting me up every day since. And literally, he was like, because he be beating around the bush. And I'm like, bro, stop acting like you want something you don't want. What's up?
Right.
And then I think he was like, you trying to fuck? Want to fuck? I was like, nah, I'm good. He said, okay. Text me the next day. I was like, look, I'm on my period.
I'm still bleeding.
I mean, that was the first day. Like, I'm on my period. And then he was like, I actually sent a gif about being on your period. And he's like, all I said
Girl.
was, hey. I was like, you can see it.
It was hilarious. Is she
He says,
so
all I
serious,
said was, hey.
y'all?
And I'm like, I just cut to the chase. Not what I wanted. And then I sent I was like, sure. What did you want? And I'm like, literally the last thing you texted me was if I wanted to have sex. And then he said, what are you up to? I said, doing my hair. And then he didn't respond again till the next day. And it was like, hey, what are you up to? Still bleeding. And then he said, ouch. So I'm like, bro, like you.
Yo, not ouch.
Yeah.
You're stupid.
And then I
Okay.
was like, oh, wait, I thought you weren't on that, quote unquote. And then he was like,
You were pulling his card.
yeah. And then he said, I'm not. But then he texted me
The
today
lies.
that was like, he said, he was asking me what's up, what I was doing. And he's like, if you don't want to fuck with me, you can just tell me.
I feel like you tried.
I'll be trying. Like,
Next thing you know, he's going to say, cut it out.
I don't need you to stop it. So then I asked him what he wanted, and he was like, a friend and good sex. And I was like, bro, I'm still bleeding.
And to party. Can't forget that.
Bro, I don't even be partying. And so then I'm like, basically, you want a friend with benefits? I said, I'm not on that time. And I didn't respond. After he was like, okay. And I was like, cool. So hopefully he doesn't hit me back up. But I don't know. That's just the shit that was in my phone.
Someone also attempted to have phone sex.
I really don't like that.
I don't.
I was like, people have kind of, that's just really not my thing.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of awkward with someone.
It just doesn't get me there. Like,
I don't think I'm good at like the back and forth banter. Like I
feel
feel
like
like
I could-
probably
I would
need to
fake it
work
pretty
on
well.
Yeah, I bet you would. I don't know.
but
I feel like I need to work on it, but it's kind of awkward. Someone trying to do it with you and you don't know them. Like it's another one of those things where it's like that's kind of like a lot to ask of someone to get nasty with you over the phone, especially if you've never even met them in person.
And then I feel like another thing too is like I gotta be comfortable with it.
Exactly.
I'm not really comfortable with what my body looks like at this point. So like I don't feel sexy. And so I'm not trying to I don't wanna like send you anything because I'm not feeling hot myself. But yeah, no, I don't like phone sex. It didn't get me there. But I stopped. Like, I'm really putting my foot down. That's why
around what?
Masturbating. Because I got rid of like all my old stuff. And then I feel short earlier.
Well, now you kind of doing it like a cave woman.
Basically, so what had happened was I fell short and then I bought something. I bought a new one.
From
and then
where?
Or I ordered it.
And shout out to Heart's Desires out in PG County. It's black owned too, y'all. It's a great sex store.
I just went on Amazon. But this another girl I follow, I think she's about to start selling them, and I was like, you gotta support your friends.
Oh yeah, I bet. Give me her link. Give me her.
You
link.
met her. She's the one that cooks food too. So.
Oh yeah. That makes sense to me. Okay, so we are moving in to.
But I didn't finish. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I was getting a little off topic, but essentially, like. The reason also I was trying to text him is because I got rid of everything. So like, I can't even get myself around the corner. But like I said, I bought something around the loop. Gets home base, quote unquote. Well, that's not home base, but gets my fireworks. Got rid of it, and so like that's why I felt like this past weekend I was also a little more like incensed. But it's weird. This is gross. But like when you be on your period but you're horny.
I definitely rub the magic lamp on my period.
It makes cramps go away. Makes it feel better. Like it helps with cramps.
Well, I'm also a lot hornier like on my period and around it. So,
well, I think right before. I feel like this weekend I was like the end of it. So I was like, I just don't want to mess with him. It's the main thing. Like it's just like, bro, I mean
that's real. Like
I want
it. I just don't want it with you.
Like. And even when I was lit as hell yesterday, it still wasn't him. But basically, like I said, I don't know. I was tempted to tell him, I'm finding Christ. I'm working on my relationship with God. Leave me alone.
Oh, my God.
Be like, I have found Jesus.
One of our audience members told me he was going to use that from you. And I was like, look at Carson out here setting culture.
Right. Nah. I mean, I feel it, though. All right, so let's get into this episode.
Okay, so yeah, this was supposed to be a Sweet Spot Nigga episode about dates. And it was under my jurisdiction, and I dropped the ball, so we had to come up with something else. You didn't gotta put it out there. Essentially, we want to wait. For the most part, it's been, I guess, more of a positive experiences, which is good.
It's not bad.
And, maybe we could, eventually talk about those and explore those, because I say I've been on, this is probably my favorite round of dating so far.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm waiting for like the part where it gets better. Like, cause it wasn't elementary school. It wasn't me. It wasn't middle school. It wasn't high school. It wasn't even college. Hasn't been post college. Like, I'm like, at some point my block should get hot. And it has not. So,
but when it is, Carson, you be like,
I think
fire
extinguish. Huh?
You be like fire extinguisher.
Nah, I think that even though this was for the most part, a decent experience. I guess I've been on actual dates. I think I've a handful. It wasn't that bad. I just realized it's still not time. Like I'm just obviously not ready mentally. Like I said, I had a really bad week this past week, so. When she talks about dating, and I'm like, wow, we really be on the same apps, completely different experience. Like,
we also may just be in different places mentally.
Well, I think that's a part of it as well. But girl, even when we were on the same place, we just get different dating app experiences, which is weird. But we talked about our dating app profiles. Make sure you guys check out that episode if you haven't. So we're gonna come back to Sweet Spot. I'm trying to get her to go out with a white person so we can talk about our white men episode. Or I'll even take non-black person.
Okay. All right.
So Asian man or Latino, all that stuff. But there's a difference between race and ethnicity. So, but we'll get back to that. So we'll come back to that. And she also needs to go out with a younger man. So tell her, even though we're supposed to, so like she's got 2 dates that I'm allowing her to go on between now and our May vacation.
I mean,
It has to be with a white guy, or not. It doesn't have to be with a white guy, but non-black guy.
honestly,
or a
if we
younger
wanna
one.
do the
You
white
could-
guy, I think. Or, I don't know. I kind of like the setup of the double date. Like I thought that was pretty fun. Like I think the better podcast episodes are the experiences that we had together that we fill in.
So you're trying to go on a double date with a sweet spot man, a white man, or a younger man. You can do all 3.
You can.
So find you a white man who likes black women, who also has a friend that likes black women.
Oh gosh.
That won't happen for a while. So.
Right, Olympic level. Olympic level.
But yeah, we're gonna. I guess essentially, I'm working on her, trying to get her to be open to it. I'm trying to also work on going out with this white guy or non-black person of color. But
see the differences. See how it shakes
I
out.
just he got an Android. I'm not in a rush, but I feel like it's hard finding black guys that like black girls. So like,
Dead ass.
is looking for a needle in a haystack.
Which is really crazy that as dating as a black girl, you have to think, does he even like me? Like, not me in general, but does he like my demographic?
Yeah, it's hard out here. But all right, so we're saying all this to say we're not talking about that this episode. So what are we about to talk about?
Okay, yeah, we're putting a pause in dating until after our trip. Well, really Memorial Day. I think summer dating is more fun anyway. But today we are talking about in depth just a little bit of our, I guess you could call it love story, relationship styles, like just kind of like around that.
Basically, we're just answering some questions.
Q&A.
One of our listeners sent us some questions, and we're just gonna discuss them. And it's just dating focused.
Yep.
And then we'll either, depending on what y'all want to hear, we can talk about. Oops, hit the mic. Maybe we'll put a vote out. Blurred lines. Talk about consent, and that's a more of a heavier topic, guys. So trigger warning. But our experiences, good and bad, with that. We could talk about the times that we were dumb as hell for some niggas. I was like,
sorry, city girls.
Yeah, we were sending niggas money down way bad.
Too bad. I will never go back to that. But yeah, so one of those episodes will most likely be next, or the Chronicles.
So you guys should definitely check her out. It's Babyface McKee. She has a series called My Chronicles. So we were gonna either talk about our chronicles, the times in which we cried, and kind of compare and give our thoughts about that. And maybe if we have a girl sleepover, we'll come back to the dating series. We could do this next potentially. So we might have where we'll talk about, like I said, Shan Boudran and her Game of Desire, do our self-love workbook, and really come back in depth on teaching y'all how to love us and what we're looking for, what we want. So these are some questions from it, but basically, we can come back with some. We have a few content ideas coming. I'm saying all that to say,
stay tuned.
Yep.
All right. So Carson, what is your love language?
Let me pull up my thing. I believe, because I took it, and then changes. You should do it, I think, every other year, because your stuff changes. Look, the most recent one I had is acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, and physical touch for me was like a 0, which is really interesting because a lot of people or guys that I've come across, physical touch for them is very high. And I think that is like part of the problem. It's like, all right, you kind of got to love somebody with what they want and need. Mm-hmm. And like, it's just, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I was a touchy person that was raised around non-touchy people, so I'm not as touchy.
I think the real caveat is there's your love language and how you like to receive it, but there's also how you like to give it. And it can be mismatched. Like, my last boyfriend, I feel like I told him all the time, like, you are actually very selfish. Like, you are the most elaborate person, but you never do what I actually ask for. Because we're just, like, off in that way. Like, the way that you like to show love is through gifts and such, but you don't. But, like,
that's not what's yours.
Exactly. That's not what I asked you for. And while not, gifts are very, very nice. I'm not going to turn them down. But I don't receive love. Like, it's nice, but I don't receive love that way. Like, that doesn't make me feel more loved. Yeah,
definitely. And I think that that's the thing that you got to understand yourself and how you receive and what the other person does. So, yeah, for me, physical touch is really not a thing. And I don't know. I think that it has to do somewhat with, like I said, I didn't come from a touchy family. And also have a lot of, like, insecurities with myself. So I'm just not as comfortable, like, holding your hands and stuff. Because, you know, people make fun of me and all that jazz.
She's such a cute girl, y'all. I have to put it out there. My co-host is a really cute girl. I just think she be real in her head about these things. Niggas don't want to talk. Niggas don't want to fuck.
But like that is
fuck a sandwich.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like being somebody like liking you and being attracted to you, like just physical, like on a pure physical level. Does that make you feel better? I think that's the thing for me is like, and even when I try to express that to guys, they really don't get it. I'm like, it won't matter what you say. Like it's a self-esteem issue. It's a me thing.
That's true. And
so I remember, because and this has been something I've been struggling with for a very long time. Because I remember to my mom when I was really little, and I told her, and I was like, you can't like give me, like, you can't love me into loving myself in a sense. Like it like no matter how much you say and you try to do, it's something that I gotta journey that I gotta walk alone.
That's true.
And I think that also plays a role in dating with guys being really physical. It doesn't really make me feel better with just because I often question, is it just like a physical thing? And even, I don't know if you've expressed this, but like wanting to get back in shape.
Definitely.
Most recent date I went on, it's like, oh, but you're real thick. I like it. And I'm like, honestly, I'm trying to slim up. Like, I would like to be a lot healthier for mental, physical, aesthetics. Like, oh, you don't need it, you're fine, and all that stuff. And it's like, I'm not comfortable. A. B, your girl is actually like overweight. Like, I know the BMI is potentially racist, but I'm like the heaviest I've been, and I can definitely feel it. And I think that guys are like, well, I'm telling you that I would still fuck you, so you're fine. And it's like, your girl is out of breath sitting and talking on a podcast.
I feel that. I understand that.
So, but what is your number one? Your list?
I took a screenshot of it and I texted it to myself, so yes. I always have it. And I did this I think I did this on Valentine's Day.
So this is recent.
It's pretty recent. So the top one is words of affirmation. The next one is quality time, and then actually physical touch. No. I'm sorry. Receiving gifts.
So receiving gifts for you was at the bottom?
It was third. No, it was third.
Oh, okay. So what's the number one?
So words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. Okay.
Quality time.
Quality time.
Receiving gifts.
Receiving gifts.
Physical touch, and then acts of service.
Really?
Yeah, acts of service is very low. It's always been low.
But that's interesting.
I really don't. I don't know. You doing something for me, like, in theory, sounds great. It's nice, but it doesn't exactly make me feel more loved. I guess because I'm like, whether you're here or not, like, it's going to get done.
That's really interesting.
But words of affirmation, I'm the girl who, if I miss you, I'm reading our old text messages. I'm such a sap.
Is that words of affirmation?
Like sweet, like things, like I reread letters, like I reread text messages, like
you be getting letters.
No, I've gotten like a few.
Damn.
My last boyfriend, he used to have like a journal where he would write like a letter, like for anniversaries or for my birthday and such, and like that's just something that we did. So I reread that stuff. Like if you send me a sweet message and I said, oh, that's sweet, like I reread that when I miss you, or I reread that when I need a reminder of like, okay. I'm such a hopeless romantic. I don't even know why. The savagery is very low within me. I mean, you don't want to play this game with me. However, the savagery is very low. I like all that stuff. I definitely like quality time, but I think guys and girls, we have different idea of quality time. Me just being in your presence is very low quality. Like, to me.
I think, I don't know. For me, I wouldn't mind. I don't necessarily need to do like something all the time. You know, just hanging out. It's fine. We could go to first base. But
most times I need to be.
But
like,
I think that there is, like you said, this is definitely a different definition. So okay, so it was words of affirmation first. I think for me, I definitely feel like words of affirmation in the sense of I remember it was like, for the most part, I haven't really been working now, but that's more of COVID. But like when I used to really be doing it, my dad was like, dang, you know, like I see you really working hard. And I was like, I'm glad that you're getting it. Like, you know, I appreciate you acknowledging that still stuck with me. But for me, you know, acts of service. I know my ex waited for my passport for like several hours. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah, that's really sweet.
Best boyfriend ever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow. Like, I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
I think
that's I don't know why receiving gifts is higher. I feel like for me, physical touch is higher than receiving gifts. If I go on a date with someone and I like them and they don't try to break the touch barrier like at all.
She's like, if you don't like, we've had this like, oh, if you don't try it, like.
I think maybe not try it as in you try to stick your dick in me or anything. I'm just saying.
Bye.
Try it as in like a small touch, like you rubbing your hand on my knee or like you putting your arm around me. Like I actually really like that, like the soft, subtle touches. I really enjoy them. So I don't know why receiving gifts is higher. And then acts of service is just low.
That's pretty high for me. Like I said, for me, physical touch is low. Receiving gifts, I guess, is low because I don't know. It like I just haven't received a lot. So when I have gotten like flowers, it meant a lot. But I also am like, I'm weird about like being bought. But like, I'm also not. You know, it's an exchange at a certain point. I don't think I've received enough gifts for it to like feel really meaningful. That doesn't. Does that make sense?
No,
in the sense, it's like I don't really get it a lot, so it's kind of like I wouldn't know where to put it.
Actually, I like really meaningful. I like really thoughtful things.
But I was just saying that's. Receiving gifts is not necessarily just monetary. It's like taking your time. So that's probably, like you said, you're very sappy and sweet. So
I am. Like,
so it makes sense that you would like to receive a gift or some token of acknowledgement.
Best gift I think I've ever received wasn't even a monetary thing. Someone asked my roommate, like to let them into our suite so that they could decorate my room like for my birthday. That was probably the sweetest thing like I think anyone's ever done for me, and that was very, very high. It's not really a gift per se. I don't even know which category you would put that in, but yeah, I'm very sappy. Very, very sappy.
I'm trying to think of the best gift I ever got. Honestly, that's the first cell phone I got. But that is like, I need you to understand. Like, I wanted the LG chocolate.
Oh, gosh.
The mint one.
We're taking it back.
I literally had it printed, had it like on the door, the sales paper. Every time I saw it as an option in the sales paper that we would go through, I would circle it and write my name on. That was the only thing I asked for Christmas. That's something I wanted. And I remember, because I used to be one of those terrible kids that woke up like periodically through the middle of the night to check to see if there was presents there. And I used to wake my sister up. So like I was like up at like 1.
LOL, one of those kids.
Woke up again at like 3. Again, and I would just walk across my banister. If I didn't see it, go back, lay down. And if I did, I'd wake my sister up. I'm like, they're here.
So how do you think you give love?
I actually had an interesting conversation with my sister because she's saying that it was interesting that she felt like I didn't give love the way that I said my love language would be.
Mm-hmm. I feel like our love languages usually are how you receive.
But but I also heard that it's what you felt like you were missing
as a child. I heard that too.
I don't know. Yes and no, but I feel like I try to. I don't know. I don't. How do you think I give love to you?
I think I receive love from you as a friend in affirmation and words of affirmation. I think you're really good at that. I think you're really good at like hyping people up that you care about. Okay, I was gonna say I would say that, or I guess maybe. And you're also someone who will call like in the middle of the day, like just to talk. I get so lonely. And honestly, like for me, I've never been that type of friend. So like I'm trying to learn like how to do that more. Because after you get past the okay, this is random, like it's usually a pretty good conversation. And now I think I do it more. Like I may call you in the middle of the day when
Yeah,
I'm like, the text message just ain't cutting it right now.
Well, I think that was, but I would say for me, I'm like I am undiagnosed with some sort of like apparently. Off topic, but if you can unfocus your eyes, that's a sign of like ADHD. And so your girl probably, like I said, I missed the diagnosis more than likely growing up. But for me, typing has always been a struggle. So I'm like, can I just call this girl? Because I can't even it's like a whole 4-paragraph thing that I'm gonna try to. Nope, I'm just gonna call her.
Okay, so I feel like I give love in words of affirmation, but also I actually do things for people. I think that's how I show love to people. Or at least I try to. Like, I know I try to look things up for people, research things, and, like, send them things. Especially, like, for dudes. Like, I actually enjoy that. Beyonce, let me upgrade you.
I feel like...
She really enjoy it. How do you think I give love to you as a friend, though?
I guess it would be... I don't know where, I'm trying to think of the 5... You're a good friend. I think you're pretty understanding. I don't know. We've had like conversations of like friendships and boundaries. So I think you do a good job of respecting those. Like especially after we talked, going back to like I used to randomly FaceTime you. She was like, "Stop calling during the day," and so I'm a lot more cognizant now.
And now I call you.
I know, which is like I don't know. I'm like, but so I would say. I don't know how to, I guess, put it in the, I would say words of affirmation as well. I know you're in the sense of like you're giving helpful information all the time, I don't know. I feel like you do acts of service because I don't ever like to drive and I'm currently the one with the car. And most of the time, if you can, you will take that burden off because I really don't like to drive.
Oh my
guys.
gosh.
Like
I be trying. I know it gives you anxiety. So
it's just
like,
not my thing.
Just do it. Okay. One thing that you told me about that I'd never heard of before is apology language.
Yes. So
what are the different ones?
Basically the people who make the love language clip also give the apology language clip, which I think is really important. I took mine. So the 5 that they are 1, expressing regret. I apologize. Second one is accepting responsibility. I was wrong. The third one is, making restitution. What can I do to make it right? Fourth one is genuinely repenting. All right, I will try not to do that again. And the last one is requesting forgiveness. Will you forgive me?
I think I'm the first one.
Expressing regret?
Yeah, I think I'm getting a lot better with saying, you know what, I apologize. Like, because I think when someone tells you they're hurt or you hurt them, you don't get to choose.
I think it's more of like what works best for you. If I wronged you, what is?
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but you're saying that you are definitely an expressing regret, which is good.
Yes.
So what was best for you? So I'll run them down again. So if I've wronged you, should I say I apologize? Should I say I was wrong? What can I do to make it right? I will try not to do that again. And will you please forgive me?
What can I do to make it right? Because I think I've had someone say like I apologize, and honestly, just don't go further for me. Like, oh, okay. Like for me, change behavior is the absolute best way that you can apologize to somebody.
For me, it is accepting responsibility. Like, okay, I was wrong. Like you're not.
Saying if you feel that way.
Yes, like this is like, okay.
Yeah.
Genuinely. But I don't know, because there's certain things in which I know that it happened. It was like, yeah, I was wrong, my bad. And I'm like, no. I was like, you were acting like I was crazy. I don't know if I've completely, I guess, let it go. But I definitely think for me it is, accepting responsibility and, what can I do to make it right? Those 2 things for me.
Okay.
And so you say that you are, I definitely feel like I am one of those expressing regret. If you feel like I wronged you some way, I will apologize. I'm not above it. That
right.
Like I wrong
I don't
all
have a
the
pride
time.
Thing like anymore.
I don't really feel like I ever did. But I will say sometimes I'm like, this person's tripping, but I'll just say it. And it's not necessarily it's always genuine.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I have no issue.
Well, I grew up with a mother who said the sorry is a sorry word. We weren't allowed to say I'm sorry. We had to say I apologize, and we had to say what we apologize for.
Oh, she
and
said,
if
period.
it did not sound genuine to her, she said, "Do it when you feel it." Okay, all right, Rhonda. That's where I get that from. So next, what is your attachment style?
Okay, so let's get the let me pull up this. I forgot to pull that up. So there's a few different ones. So as going back to, Shan, I believe her name is Brady. She is married. She's like an intimacy expert, and she has a book and a website called The Game of Desire. It's about, dating with dominance. And so she has quizzes like, what are your attachment styles and stuff, and a whole bunch of other ones. There was one that we were kind of taking before we got started that
It was long.
That's the workbook. I'm talking about the other quiz, which was actually, I think it was very helpful in talking about, how like first date game.
Mm-hmm.
So tidbit, when asked a question about you should only be talking about 30 seconds before you kind of ask them.
Pass.
Yeah. So, and that is because, you only retain a certain amount of information. Talking too long, you get like your point and stuff gets lost in the sauce. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure that you're also, the best thing to know if somebody's really interested in you is if they're mirroring your actions. So
True.
imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery.
So in conversations, do you pick up conversations? Like for me, if I'm on a date and there's too much awkward silent space, that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I'll pick it up real fast. Like I always usually have like a set of questions in my mind. And if you're someone who, like I was talking to someone earlier last week, and he was like, you sound very professional, like you have like a list of questions. So when we actually did go on a date, I actually had like questions like on my phone set up like for that specific person.
Okay.
So I'm definitely that type of person. I think let's just get the most out of the time. Like,
well,
the most
I
bang
think
for
that
our
there
buck.
is like, there's such thing as like not an awkward silence.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like what I've been struggling with is maybe I just don't have the greatest art of conversation, but I'm like, I don't want to keep hounding people. It doesn't seem like they're asking me questions, or like if I ask you, okay, what is your favorite color?
Mm-hmm.
Blue. All right. What did you
absolutely hate that? And
like? What do you?
That may be a generational thing at this point.
So
We may
I
have
think that is
lost it.
definitely. It doesn't seem, at least from in my experience, I'm not getting a lot of back and forth with dating, and it's like also and then I think that people don't realize, it takes a lot to be warmed up in a first date.
It does.
Because somebody did told me that, what did I sent it to you. What did he say? I'm going to directly
no
quote
spark.
him. There was no spark. And I was like, bro, there was no spark in your conversation.
Well, what's funny is though
Okay.
that same date that I went on and I had like the list of stuff, that guy told me that he'd been coming across women who expected them to wow them. Like, but they didn't have much conversation
The
themselves.
women?
Yeah, the women.
I think that
expected-
people do also have
Yeah.
like a unrealistic expectation of like first date conversation. I feel like I'm pretty realistic. I don't think that I'm gonna know like everything about you, but I feel like we should have at least a conversation. If we're not talking, we don't have to talk about anything
Yeah,
serious.
because otherwise, why are we on this date? If we're not, the point of a date is to get to know somebody.
Yeah,
So if we're not
so-
getting to know each other, why are we here?
I don't know, because the last date I went on, he was weird. Well, I don't
Well,
even
they
say he
all
was a
are.
weed. Yeah, they all really are, but it might just be me, and I can admit that. Let me scroll, find this child. But yeah, he was like, "There's no spark," and I was like, "That's the first time anybody ever told me that." I was a little offended. I was like, "Oh, you're real shy," and like, I just don't think that. Like, I don't waste your time, waste my time. I didn't really feel it, and I was like, "Wow!" Like, I never heard that. I feel like I'm pretty personable
I think
in the
you are
dating
too.
sense. I was like, "That's a first."
Right.
But I realized, not everybody is with that.
Yeah.
And then, but like, I do think that people do have unrealistic expectations. I'm like, bro, we're sitting here, what are you expecting? Like,
Yeah, the one uncompatible message that I got, I felt like We had a great date. It was the first date. It was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And the second date, he asked me for. Again, I had this thing, like, if you're going to ask someone for their time, like, you need to pay, number one. You also need to come with it. Like, what are we doing? So we went on this date. It was a great conversation. I think I even called you, like, in the middle of it, like when he went to the bathroom or something, to be like, oh my gosh, this was such a nice date afterwards.
Oh, here it is. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. After, okay, we just, smoke. So maybe I was just in like a different mindset at the end of it. But the next date came around and it rained that day. And he was like, oh, I don't really fuck with the rain. And I was like, what? But okay, fine. I guess it is kind of gloomy outside. We were supposed to go out. We were going to take a walk to go out, which is fine. And then he was like, well, the offer is still good for you to come over. And I was like, well, did you already eat? Like, let me know, because I planned the date, so I didn't cook anything. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, no, I didn't really eat. I mean, it's whatever, the offer still stands. I was like, so basically you want me to come over. Just say that.
Yeah, he wants you to come over and chill.
He didn't want to drive, like, to come get me. So he wanted me to walk over to his place. Mm-hmm. And it was still like kind of gloomy and raining outside. I'm like, so you wouldn't walk down here. You don't want to walk. You don't want to pick up the car. But you want me to walk to you. Mm. So once I said, we can just do a different day, he sent me a message. He didn't even text me. He went back on the app. He sent me a message. He was like, hey, I just don't think we're compatible. I wish you the best of luck. And I was like, you too. I always say that. I'm like, yo, this not gonna work. But best in all your endeavors. You gotta not talk to someone like you're an HR representative. I wish you the best in all your endeavors.
Yes, that's how you should do it. Period.
Okay, so what are the
attachment styles? I feel like you should definitely take the quiz. So there is secure, anxiously secure. So that is confident, reciprocal, non-reactive, and resilient. Anxious, preoccupied, emotional, hunger, fantasy bond, lack of nurturing, turbulent, dismissive, avoidant, isolation, ambiguity, ambivalent, and emotionally distant. And then fearful, avoidant, internal conflict, dramatic, unpredictable, and that word's fucking me up. This bottom part. So I feel like when you hear it out loud, you're gonna pick, secure, but you should really take the quiz. I think that when I took it, I might have been like fearfully avoidant, which at the time I definitely was coming out of a relationship. I think I had that scary encounter in the hotel room. So I definitely feel like I was not in the best place for, dating. And I do think that I'm probably still fearfully avoidant in the sense where I definitely know that I'm not open for anything super serious. I've been dipping my toe in dating, but I just honestly after this weekend I realized like I'm still wasting time at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Like it's not them, it's me. And y'all, I feel like y'all niggas do need to take some time too to like really get your ish together. Yeah. Before you step foot on dating, like.
You should. I think we all should just take dating a little bit more seriously.
Yes. And I'm speaking specifically about like actually dating.
Yeah.
Because I do want to do that. Chanel makes it seem so fun.
I do have fun dating. I mean, not all W's, but I do have fun dating. I try to keep it light. And I also try to go into it like, this is most likely temporary until I get the vibes that it's not. So my attachment style is a combination of secure and anxious, preoccupied. When I do like someone, I fall very fast. When I do feel that spark within like 24 hours,
I will say that I have had successful dates. I've had dates that were really nice and a good time. But I do think the overall experience wasn't like it ended. I still don't talk to that person at the point. So it's kind of like it was a good date, but. Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm more and more okay with that now.
I think it takes some time to get to that point where like it's not necessarily a wash because you guys didn't work out. Right. But I don't know, because we went to Top Golf. I feel like that's a really good date, like group date setting. Because like if you both aren't good at golf, it's like you suck and I suck, and we're here. We spent like the money for like 2-hour block, but like so I definitely think that's a better date for a group outing.
So I'm someone who off the first. Hanging out with someone will get attached and like bond, and I think fantasy really stuck with me on this anxious, preoccupied, because I'll be so stuck on the fantasy of them that when I do see red flags, I'm less likely to look at them hard enough.
But I do think that also women, we don't date like at the moment. We're like, okay, this person has this. There's potential for us to grow.
Yeah, we're definitely
like,
potential.
We date for the potential of somebody, and I think that we should do a much better job of dating for what they are, where they are right now.
All right. So the rest of these questions are more of like rapid fire type questions and not as in depth. So let's go. FaceTime, phone call, or text?
Honestly, ideally FaceTime, but like I don't be looking cute all the time. So like I don't want you to, like, first time you FaceTime me, I got on my bonnet and my computer glasses and like shit about my room be dark. Like, so I guess in the right situation, I guess FaceTime is always cool. I don't mind a phone conversation, and I'm not the best texter, but like I don't really be saying too much either. Yeah. So any of those with the right person are cool.
Yeah,
I think that like it's really like no matter, because I've definitely been a person in certain situations where I'm like it's continuing to text them and I'm probing a lot, and there's been the other time where it's like they've been texting me a lot more than I've been texting them.
Right. Obviously, FaceTime for me as well. So actually, I've been experimenting with just not wearing makeup, like for FaceTime calls, like being like not saying like I'm not cute.
Oh, girl, yeah, I don't
like not doing.
I don't really do my makeup before FaceTiming somebody, but you know, you gotta get like at least a nice lighting,
yeah,
like where I don't look like as tired and depressed as I really am. I am if I'm cute, like, and I'm a little lit, I'm definitely like bold, but I feel like I'm more bold with people I'm not as interested in, if that makes sense. I'm not, there's like not the pressure. Yeah. So like I could potentially shoot my shot, but like I have not successfully shot my shot at somebody I was like, dang, like I really like this person.
That's like a really interesting phenomenon. I feel like I require more of dudes that I don't know like that, or that I don't.
Well, yeah, I think that it's easier
versus dudes that,
and I think that's why guys are a lot better at this, because they had practice doing what we're saying at this point. Like they started a lot earlier, so I'm getting to the point. Because I just saw this video on Twitter of a girl. She's like, "Ooh, that man fine. I think I'm gonna get him." And girl, she was pushing his whip at the end of the TikTok, and I was like, I know that's right. Yes,
I know that's right.
Because she's like, look how he look, and she's pushing his car. Like shooters shoot, and a lot of times they go in. So I definitely want to get better at that, but I am working on that.
Okay,
because you know, shit.
I mean, you cute girl, you probably could.
I don't know. We'll see.
So next, your favorite type of guys out of the 4 dating realms that we have. I mean, I guess it's kind of limited right now because we haven't fully explored. May have to come back to this question at the end of the summer. But between old niggas, sweet spots, younger, and non-black.
I haven't really had a lot of experience in non-black. I haven't really gone out with a whole bunch of like significantly older. But to sum it all up, I have not found it yet. I don't know. We're still on the hunt.
Okay.
What about you?
My favorite type are obviously sweet spots. They're just more of a success rate. I feel like they like you have conversations that are pretty like on the same thing. Sometimes when I'm texting like an older dude, is at a certain point like what are we really talking about? Mm-hmm. So yeah. All right. Next. How do you know when you're interested in someone / someone is interested in you?
How do I know when I'm interested in someone? I feel like I'm definitely more of proactive in like the pursuing part. Like I do, but at the same time, there's been somebody I was interested in, and like I was like, oh my god, like yo, this is the one. And I finally got the information, and I realized, dang, I just really like the chase. I like the.
I think you do. I think
the, like the chase. I think I like the cat and mouse game, and there's not a lot of people I think that like that. Mm-hmm. Like I don't make it that easy.
They should be expensive.
Yeah. So, but back to the question. I'm sorry. Repeat it.
How do you know when you're interested in someone or someone is interested in you?
Well, I'm all right. When someone's interested in me, I would assume that they kind of do the same thing. They're a little more, either they say it, you know, or their actions, you know, say it as well. Mm-hmm. Apparently, you know, if they're mirroring your body language, you know, eye contact. I know there's been times where I've been out and you know when somebody's about to approach you. In my head, I'm like, please don't do it. Please don't do it. Because sometimes you'll be out, you'll look at a guy, and well, I guess now not as much because everybody has a mask on. But before, like, there's been times where I look at somebody, you know, I'm polite, so I smile, and they're like, oh, they're gonna do it. It's like, please stop. What about you? How do you know when you like someone?
When I reread our messages.
Oh gosh,
I really am a sap. So when
how many people's messages do you reread, or is this like one particular person?
Flavor of the week.
Okay. Period.
Whoever I'm liking, like at the most, like I'll reread our messages. I'm a voice memo type of person now, so
yeah, she wasn't trying to be like. I was trying to bend.
I absolutely like love
voice
it now.
messages.
I love the voice messages. So yeah,
do you like getting them?
Yeah, I love getting them. That shit is very sexy. So
some people's voices are cute.
I love. That's how I know I'm interested in someone. Like when I reread our messages, or if I really just want to spend time with them, like I'm excited to spend time with them.
Mm-hmm.
I know someone's interested in me when their actions match their words.
Okay.
So if you're saying that you like me, you wanting to spend time with me, and you actively making sure that happens, that's how I know that you're interested in me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't say I friend zone you and we don't see each other, we don't talk.
Mm-hmm.
You friend zone yourself.
Period.
So, how long are you talking to someone before going on a date?
It doesn't necessarily have to be that long. I mean, I know some people wait. I think that there is like a perfect amount, like not too long, but not too short. Because there's somebody that like I was talking to them like on and off for like forever, and we hung out for the first time like we had talked. I think I met this person when I was in like 9th grade, and we went out for like the first time in like 2019. But it'll be on and off. I mean, I wasn't really like at that point. I feel like we're just friends. Like, I wasn't really on that type of time. So like when that person like was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I mean, he just he's cool. I think my sister went with me actually. I made it I made us a throuple real quick.
Oh my gosh, I feel like less than a week.
But it depends on, schedules and, all that type of stuff. Like, hey, it doesn't have to happen immediately, but if it does happen immediately, I'm fine with that. We don't have to talk all the time.
For me, I know, I think
you could text the person before you go out, or could you go out from like just off a dating app or something?
I mean, the text conversation would be the same whether we were on the app or like.
Yeah, so somebody's like, hey, would you want to go out for dinner on Thursday? And y'all haven't necessarily exchanged information yet.
I've done that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so it doesn't really make a difference to me. For me, I know I was talking to someone, and I mean, like we were texting like pretty heavy, like maybe a month ago, conversations all the time. Like we would just talk in the middle of the day, which I usually don't do. That's also how I know that I really like someone when I want to have phone conversations.
Well, that's why you couldn't call me in the middle of the day. You had some nigga on your line.
But the first time we actually hung out and went on a date, he was just different, like in person to me, which is why I think the longer you wait, the more of a fantasy you've built up to this person to be. So when you actually do hang out with them, you're like it's like meeting someone all over again.
I think it's kind of like, and also that's why I feel like you can't really hype a lot of either yourself or all that type of stuff up, because you really never know. Like I know there's probably been times where somebody's like, oh, this is like the best cake ever. Like this is so good. Oh my gosh. And then you try it and you're like, this shit like a 6. Like it's like so I definitely think that can happen.
Definitely. So number 7, does it matter where you go on the date?
Yes and no. Like if it's this last time I thought was like a really good date, we were supposed to go to a Korean barbecue, but like that place was like booked, and I think we ended up at some other like more of like a chain place that had like a few different styles of food. Like there was ramen, there's sushi, they had like an ice cream place, and like we ended up sitting there for like several hours, and it was really good. The food, I got bubble tea, which was also really good. Like I definitely enjoyed that time, and we were kind of in like a supermarket in a sense, like not a supermarket, but more of like, when you're at a mall,
like an eatery.
No, like how malls have different types of restaurants. Like if you're in the food court.
That's an eatery.
I mean, I didn't know. Is that okay? I learned something new. Look at that. So yeah, it was more in that style. So, but it was really cool.
Okay, all right. For me, same thing. Like it really doesn't matter. I don't need to be going to super expensive restaurants all the time.
Besides, they don't even be having a whole bunch of food. And like,
right.
I'm a bitch. I like to eat.
Right. Especially on first dates, I kind of like consistent. Actually, no, I love consistency. So wherever we start going out, I'm going to kind of assume that we ain't going back down. We're either going up or we're keeping it on the same level. So
Okay.
I'm okay with like an Applebee's or like a Friday. Like there are some women who are like, that's not a date.
I mean,
So I'm
Applebee's kind of sucks, and so does Fridays. But
I'm saying as far as money, like that's, I guess that's what I'm talking about in terms of like, does it matter? And
all right, who don't like 2 for $25 apps?
I kind of want to move into more of active dates. Like we really don't always have to go out to eat. It'd be nice if we,
You want to go on a hike?
Yeah, I would be okay with that.
No, I meant like I'm actually being legit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hot girl summer. I'm gonna be getting ready.
Pick me up after.
All right. This past weekend, we were like, all right. After every time she says that, we got to drink. It was at least 3 or 4 times.
That's just my perfect idea of a summer, like a hot girl summer. But like, somebody come pick me up after. I want to hang out with these hoes all night. Like,
We're not even gonna be out all night, but I feel that. I feel that energy.
be booed up, cuddled up by 2 a.m. Honestly, by 12 for real.
Depends on where we're at.
Number 8. How do you know when it's time to cut your hose off?
As I'm walking down the aisle. Just kidding.
She's not.
Kidding. And I am. Before that. But I guess at the engagement. No. Kidding.
She's
I guess,
really not.
No, I really am. I think that you would need to have a conversation. Mm-hmm. Like, at least for me, in understanding. But I believe it's possible. Like, when we're like, all right, we're exclusive. This is serious. This is something like, I'm not talking to anybody else. I don't expect you to talk to anybody else. Right. So after a conversation.
I agree. If I don't hear the words, we're exclusive. If you're not asking me to be your girlfriend, like, understand.
Yeah. Like, we're not exclusive.
Exactly. And I think that guys do that all the time. Like, they're not exclusive until they actually say it. I don't know why women think that we have to put all our eggs in one basket. But ladies, you don't. You really don't. Keep the dates, keep the roster until someone lets you know out of their mouth.
Put their foot down. Yeah. Guys, stop. You guys used to be competitive athletes. Keep it up. Like,
yes. You know what's hilarious? I've been addicted to TikTok lately. So I was looking at something and there was a guy and he was talking about the state of dating in 2021. He said that this girl asked if he had any hoes or anything, if he was talking to anyone. And he was like, no, like I really have just been chilling like the past month or so. And he was serious. And she was like, so I'm fighting for a spot that nobody else wants. I cried.
And I think that is also true as humans. Like, you would want somebody, but you wouldn't want somebody that nobody else wants.
Yeah.
Like, I've been like on like a highway and stuff, and like I'm like the only car, and I'm like,
something wrong?
I'm like, do y'all know something I don't know? Like, there's nobody else here. Am I on the wrong side of the road? Like what?
I feel that
it makes me nervous, and so there's nothing wrong with a little friendly competition, but not in the sense of like actually competing. But I think that I wouldn't want somebody that isn't
attractive to anybody else.
Not even that, but like if we're only like you met me and that was it. Like we got to work towards that. Mm-hmm. But that could also be me understanding that I still have a lot of work to do with myself.
I think everyone has a lot of work to do on themselves. Like this world, this society, it'd be morphing some aliens. It'd be morphing just some really fucked up people,
or produces that. Yeah, definitely.
So we all have things that we need to work on within ourselves before we can attach ourselves to someone else and be like, yes, this is your person or my person. Or
all right, so you're a hot girl summer. So the person that's picking you up, is this like somebody who is like, this is my man, it's established?
I would hope so.
Another one bites the dust. Okay, yikes. Because she's definitely one of those people, be in a relationship, you don't hear from her no more.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
I hope I grew out of that.
I guess we're about to see.
Probably
all right. Well, I mean, I believe that she'll find that because she's an amazing woman.
Aw. See, that's that words of affirmations. But okay, maybe not like this is my man, like this is it. But moving into that exclusivity, I really do enjoy relationships. I enjoy commitment. I enjoy being monogamous. I enjoy being freaky as fuck with one person.
I'm a monogamous ass woman.
I am. I really am, because I want to fucking movie theaters again. I just don't want to do that with a random.
Don't open up movie theaters. Please don't. I need to keep that shit closed.
Okay, and our last question is, what is your current type of relationship / dating style?
Oh, okay. So there's a few different ones that you would want. For me, would be like, let me pull it up. Or we'll guess what is something that you'll answer first while I'm trying to think. So what would be your
trying to figure out what modern monogamy was, because that was one of them on the list.
So yeah, so we're going back to the game of desire. Okay, commitment, I believe it is. She don't really have or polyamory, not polygamy. Sorry, some form of polyamory and aromantic. Those who aren't interested in romantic relationships. So I feel like I'm like a little bit like that, but for me, I definitely was monogamish. So with that being, it's like, if I'm with somebody, I'm with them, but I'm not gonna trip over like you being quote unquote flirty or nice with somebody, or you going out to a party, like, or not allowing you to go out with your friends because I want to go out with my friends. I'm not trying to stop being me because we're now in a relationship. I'm not gonna necessarily trip if you were to go to a strip club and you got a lap dance, or because that's the point of going to a strip club. I'm not allowed. I think the thing is, though, you have to be very clear at what is okay and what isn't okay. So you can't like fuck a stripper, make out with a stripper, but if you're at a party and a girl dances on you, it's just a dance. It's not. But I'm not saying like, okay, you can't. I don't want you to like cheat on me, as in text this person, make out with them. All that stuff is not okay. But going out is fine. Liking somebody's picture, it's cool. Don't DM them. Trying to like exchanging that, like, that's kind of, I think the thing is, what are your boundaries?
Right.
So Menard or Mish, but I might be aromantic, and that's probably why I suck at dating.
I could give myself modern monogamous or monogamish, one of the two. I feel like they're pretty close and similar.
Yes.
I don't think, strip club, like, I want to go too. Like, honestly, like, let's get a twerk dance together. But if you go out with your boys, like, that wouldn't bother me at all. However, I don't know, the twerking and like the dancing, like some random girl at a club doing that to you, where you engage, like you was in a club or you was in a room and you pulled her to do that. I feel like something about that.
I get what you're saying, but let's say she just started twerking on him. He's at a party.
You got two hands. Remove her.
Okay, so you're not twerking at parties anymore when you're in a relationship?
No, I'm not.
Boo. That's why I don't want you to get one. That's so boring.
I'm not. And
Why
I'm
go
not
out then?
just because it's usually a physical attraction thing. Like, I'm not. I think that's like a really blurred lines.
Okay.
As far as the double texting, not double texting, as far as like the messages on Instagram, obviously don't be DMing people. But honestly, I've done that before. Like, I've been in a relationship and I've DM'd someone else. And it just with the undertone of flirtiness. Not outwardly, but with the undertone.
I feel like there is definitely a difference. Like,
it felt a little dangerous, but it also, like, hindsight, is disrespectful to your relationship for me.
okay.
So I won't be doing that anymore.
So, like, if somebody posted a funny meme, a guy, and you respond to laughing emoji, is that what you would consider that disrespectful?
If that was it, no.
Okay.
No, if that was it, no. But I was like, you know me, I'm going to slide in your DMs and ask about your book.
Okay. I mean,
I was doing things like that. Yeah, there's a line, like what you said, like, it's just boundaries, and it's just saying, hey, this is what I'm comfortable with, this is what I'm not. I don't know about the IG model, like, double, like, nose pictures or whatever. I think it's kind of creepy if that's the only pictures you like, but
okay.
go off.
It's kind of like,
you're never going to meet them. You're never
not
gonna
even
interact
that.
with
It's
them.
like, that's what Instagram is for. It's for you to like pictures.
But I'm saying, like, if all the pictures you like you only follow IG models. Like,
I get that, but I wouldn't be in a necessarily relationship with somebody like that. So I feel like there's certain things that it's like the hypotheticals of it. Like, okay, but what about this particular? Like, if you're only liking IG models, would that be somebody that you would be dating seriously? Probably not.
Probably not, but it's something that could come up.
I mean, yeah, but it wouldn't.
some people don't think that that's an issue.
Yeah,
and if
no.
you don't think that's an issue, then you're going to do it. Like,
I don't think that necessarily liking pictures is an issue. Even if they look good, they look good. You like that picture. I don't think it's as serious as like it can be. But there is a line. Like I said, you shouldn't be like, oh, hey, what do you like? Are you single? Like showing interest or asking it. Like,
right.
Liking a picture is not a big deal to me. But I also don't think that I would be in a committed relationship with somebody that only follows IG models. Because now you look like weird. Like, you don't have no friends. But I think that that's kind of like, that wouldn't happen. So I guess I wouldn't think of that as a possibility.
I guess liking pictures for some people feels more serious because that's kind of how it goes on Instagram. You like to, I like to, you slide in your DMs.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost a start to something.
And I get that. And if that's your concern, that's your concern. But I'm like, to me, liking a picture doesn't necessarily mean to be a start. Like, if you like a picture and then you start something, that's an issue.
Right.
But if you're scrolling down Instagram and that's how they created the algorithm, right, and you see a picture that you like,
I mean, I think we're agreeing.
Yeah. I was like, we are.
All right. So basically, Carson doesn't want me to get into a relationship.
Because she's not gonna want to do anything fun, and like this whole podcast will go to shits. It's what it sounds like.
Oh my gosh.
She said she's not gonna go out anymore.
I
she's
didn't
gonna
say that.
Okay.
I would still go out if I'm in a relationship.
You
Hot
wouldn't
girl summer, just pick me up after.
You wouldn't. You said you wouldn't be going out and dancing.
I wouldn't be going out and dancing on niggas.
Do you do that now?
Not really. So it's not too much of a change.
Look at this. All right. I mean,
I still okay. I want one thing I do know is that my last relationships, I do feel like I didn't go out as much. Like, I didn't spend as much time with my friends. Like I said, I'm someone who, if I really like you, like, I fall pretty hard. I want to spend a majority of my time with you, so that does leave less time for friends. But I don't want to be that girl anymore. So if you notice me being that girl, I would hope that as my friend, you would just, let me know. And I will do my best to be like, okay.
Well, I mean, there's a balancing act. I feel like I wouldn't necessarily.
And I don't feel like you did that at all. Like, in your last relationship, I feel like I talked to you. I saw you just about as much as I would have had you not been in one.
Yeah, but I think that we also, there's different factors. When you were in a relationship, you guys were necessarily from, like, you didn't live here.
Right.
In that sense. And then when you were here, I mean, we hung out a little bit, but you would always be racing to go back to him because it's a different living situation.
Racing?
Yeah, bro. You'd be on the highway. Like, you were driving. She was pushing that car. You'd be like a 3-hour drive for nothing to you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Thinking about it, girl, I was not wrong. Like, oh, yeah. Yeah, bro, that was you.
I was in love. Okay. How are we wrapping this up? We're not blocking anybody. Are we blocking any ways of thinking around dating and around relationships and love?
I don't know. I feel like, this is just a little deeper dive into where we are. What's up with us? We haven't been super active on Instagram, but, you guys can also email us at thisiswhyyou'reblockpod@gmail for ideas, suggestions. Like I said, follow us at that'swhyyou'reblockpod. I think that's about it. We'll see you next time.
Bye.